So it's week one back here in Holyrood after a mammoth 67-day holiday. That's 10 weeks off for our MSPs. And John Swinney was taken to task by Russell Finlay in that chamber just behind us over an hour ago about his speech on independence, where he promoted the idea that the Scottish people have the right to decide their future on independence.
The title of John Swinney's speech today was "Respecting Scotland's Right to Decide." That's right. This from the party that has never, not for a single minute, respected the decision that Scotland made. He actually said today, and let me quote you because it is absolutely priceless, "You can't just support democracy when it suits you." Well, First Minister, the fringe is over. Enough with the terrible jokes. Scotland did decide. 2 million people voted to reject division.
It was a good example of the SNP's desire to get out their base vote, that 30% of Scots who believe that independence is needed and needed quickly. But Russell Finlay used the moniker given to himself by John Swinney of full-on John, which he did in an interview with us, which you can find online, and mocked him for all of this and said, actually, John, it's time to move on, John.
The same old John Swinney is back, obsessed with independence, distracted from the day job. Does he not realise that the majority of Scots want to tell him to move on, John?
Across the chamber, though, Anas Sarwar picked up on health stats, focused on record high waiting lists, long waits as well, had a little bit of needle against Neil Gray for a story that you'll see in the Scottish Sun tomorrow about him seemingly to downgrade a flagship pledge to end long waits of over a year in the NHS. But Anas Sarwar really took it on and took on John Swinney, blasted him for failures and basically accused him of deflecting from his domestic record with talking about independence as well.
But this morning, John Swinney showed fixing the NHS will never be his priority. Instead, he's trying to use independence to hide from his failures and desperately try to cling on to power, and it's not going to work. Over the summer, we have seen NHS waiting lists soar to include almost 900,000 Scots. Over 100,000 Scots now waiting over a year to be seen on the NHS, and record levels of people paying for their own procedures due to this government's failures, and Scotland still having the highest rate of drug deaths in Europe. Don't Scots deserve a First Minister whose #1 priority will be fixing our NHS?